some concerns, and they're even more concerning now after Dan Vogt agreed that there really isn't a tangible benefit to this, to all the citizens of this city.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What did Dan say?
Dan said that there's not a tangible benefit to all the citizens of this city, as there is with, say, the park system, roads, sewer, water, you know, those type of things. And even if he wasn't concerned, I am, because this is city revenue, the same pot that is paid all the city's bills. And in a time when our city's like $27 million in debt, and we can't fix our roads, alleys, and other infrastructure, I have a concern that if the funding is going to continue to go out, that it be made somehow beneficial, tangible benefit for everybody. And so I thought about that, and I think there are several creative ways it could be done. One of the things is Jerry's going to go this year and film and put on Channel 6, but a lot of people don't have Channel 6. A lot of people don't watch Channel 6. So it's only going to cover a small amount of people, and that's the same as a travel log, you know. Some people come to those and some people don't. I think honestly, when you host a fundraiser, I think there should be some provision so some people can come for free. If they have a way to prove that they're low income, or if that's not a possibility, you know, I don't want it to take away from your fundraising, but I think to a lot of people, this looks like an elitist group. If you don't have enough to pay your water bill and your groceries, you couldn't partake in this group. But there may be people in that category who have a sincere interest in the French exchange. And I think one good thing that could be done is to, and I don't know if it's possible, but I would assume it would be, that the Lindbergh Center, which is already set up with a little theater there, could host an event there a couple times a month with some French food, and it could be a free to the public event, totally free. You can have your little donation basket out there like you do with all your other things, but open it up so that it's free and sample French food. Well, I don't know if you could sample French wines or something like that, probably not. There'd probably be some kind of restriction against that, but so that you'd be hosting something that's free for the city, to educate the city about French, the language French, and French food, and then maybe just a little bit of talk, something to educate the public more about the exchange group. The other thing is that since this group is getting city funds for this, it might not be a bad idea for everybody in the committee to be required to pay some community service hours. And if you valued community service hours at $7.25 an hour, which is a lot more than Lutheran Social Service pays, they pay $2.65 an hour when you're a senior companion, because I was that for a period of time. If you get $3,000 and your wage to all volunteers willing to earn that money from the city, that's $7.25. That's 414 community hours per year. And if you look back to when this program was incepted, at the same dollar amount, that'd be 10,345 give back hours. Now, it's not realistic probably to go back and pay that, but I think going forward, I think it's fair to assume or to expect that if any committee, whether it's this one or let's say one that wants to host something to do with little kids or a gay group or a different ethnicity group, any kind of committee that's to do with the city, if that committee is giving money, I think it should be fair to all. Teresa, do you have any good ideas?
No, I got nothing.
The other thing is that we talked about the fundraiser, maybe doing the airport, having an event out there. Well, that'd be a great time to give residents free rides, not just the little kids. You know, like as there's during the Dam Festival, some rides are given out there. But if you get a voluntary group of pilots, maybe they'd be interested in taking people up, because there's a lot of low-income people that could not afford to ever go on a little airplane. And I heard it said today on the radio that the French people hadn't gone in a little Cessna or Piper Cub or whatever they flew in out of the airport when they came here.
They haven't had it.
They had not flown in a little airplane. They had gone on big jets, but not in little planes. Like, and they got free rides at La Berger Airport. So in other words, the same benefits that are given to the French when they come here, and to you guys when you go there, that same benefit or something similar should be opened up to everybody. Because otherwise, it's just not fair. It's not a just program, in my opinion. And I've talked to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who don't know a whole lot about this, other than what they've heard and information that I've shared with them, because I share minutes and the actual bylaws and ordinance that you guys originally had. And they too don't think that it's fair the way that it is. So I realize it's up to the city council to decide what they're gonna fund and how they're gonna fund it, but however you look at this is just not a fair program as is. It's a privileged program that only folks who can afford the airfare to go can go. If you couldn't afford the $1,000 or $2 to go get the airport fees, your airfare, you could never partake in this.
I appreciate your thoughts, because you do have some very valid points and a lot of us, for us to think about and ponder and try and figure out how we can make it more accessible. And I can speak for myself. I've been on this committee now, I think about 9 years, and I think I was pregnant with my oldest daughter when I first joined. And my desire to start in this committee was because I worked at the Lindbergh House for years and wanted to continue my work in the community. And when I started on this committee, I only knew a couple people by name. I didn't know anybody personally. And so I was just an average citizen that just stepped up and wanted to help. And through the 9 years that I've been on this committee, I've talked with a lot of people who've come and gone in the committee, and one of the questions that we have, one of the problems that we try to overcome, is how to get information out to the community about what we're doing, try to educate them, and try to bring as many people in as we can, because that's what we've really truly been trying to do since I've been on the committee. And so I do appreciate your suggestions and trying to figure out how, because I appreciate the Lindbergh connection, or else I wouldn't give you my time on this committee. And that goes back to all of the things that I would love to make people aware of about our heritage and about the things that our community should be proud of, and that includes Lindbergh and so many other wonderful things. So you've definitely given me food for thought to try and figure out how.
Well, if you have a free event, that's one way of really opening it up. I mean, you obviously would get a lot more people who are free. One thing that Bob Drosky said after you guys left last time we stood here and visited a little bit, he said that there was some kind of big event at the high school, in the auditorium or something, but there was a charge for it. I don't know what the charge was, but see, when you put the charge to it, that's going to exclude a lot of people. They charge even to go to prom in this town. It's the only town that I know of that ever charges for prom.
Our
In
prom
Wilmer,
was
other-
charged.
I don't know, maybe I'm
My
lying,
prom
but-
was charged.
Holding Ford is charged.
But see, you guys are much younger.
I was saying, it's a newer thing.
Yeah.
And sports
And,
being
and,
so
you know, one way to alleviate that prom situation, so everybody could partake in that, is to have the kids line up and come in Wilmer. It's a spectacular event. How you arrive, some people charter a bus, a bunch of kids come on a bus or all different ways. And that's open to the public, watching them all come in their promenade. And you can't get into school for their, that's all just for kids inside the school. So there's ways to open it up to the public, and I maybe have other ideas too, but that's.
One of the things that I've been thinking about as we look at the different events that we plan, all of us work here, some of us full-time, some of us part-time, and the hours that we give to this community are volunteer hours. And so one of my concerns for our committee is that we need to focus on the fundraiser. That's kind of one of our first priorities. But I also would like to do what you've said, to include the whole community and be able to offer these events. And so that's something that I think we need to consider too, is what is the job of committee members and what is the job of the broader
The friends of the
friends of the sister city, and how can we incorporate them into helping us do some of these events, some free, some for fundraiser purposes. That's another obstacle we're trying to get over, because it's really hard. As all of you know, it's hard to get volunteers.
Time is limited.
For all of us. But it's not impossible. So.
Well, one of the biggest barriers, I think, is that as long as you have to be able to afford the airfare, and that's the main benefit of being in this group, that bars a lot of people right there. That was my main reason for asking for some form of scholarship, maybe not to cover all of it. And I'm not talking about me. If I want to go, I'll find a way to go. I'll cut corners. I'm creative. I've always known how to make money out of nothing. But if you don't have an allowance, say, for a student in town, or a senior that really can't afford it, and they never could go, well then, what benefit do they get out of this group, this committee, this program?
But when the French come here, which is kind of half of the exchange, right? I mean, we are going there, but they are also coming here. So for 10 days, every 4 years, and in the summer, people, any community member can go to any of the events, which a lot of them, there is no charge. I mean, we aren't necessarily eating at every event. I mean, last time they were here, we took the French for a hike through Lindbergh Park, and there was obviously no charge for that. So they can come meet with the French people, talk with the French people, enjoy all of those activities as much as they always want to. And we always have promoted that in the newspaper, to letting people know kind of what the activities are, and that the French are coming, and that people are welcome.
I was thinking too, after we went home last time, I was talking to my husband, I said, there is an element here that also promotes peace, and it's the being exposed to a different culture, as you well know. And so looking at that from my children's perspective is looking at the world is bigger than them, and they need to care for other people other than just their neighbors and their buddies, but to realize that they have a language difference. It was fun to watch my kids try to figure out how to communicate, and they succeeded sometimes, but to figure out we're both people. And I was thinking, I thought that is, to anyone who chooses to come, like you said, a lot of those events were open to anybody. And as a family, you have to choose where you spend your time. As everybody well knows, you only have so much time, and so you come and do what you can. But I just thought, that is a huge thing, because now my kids talk about our French friends, and we'll never be able to afford to take our whole family. But they've had that exposure from this end of it, and I'm good with that. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, and I would hazard to say that that's a tangible benefit.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
Because I agree with my children too. They're on a couple of visits, they would be riding in the van with us, because we would bring our kids to a couple places. And I remember a couple of the ladies singing to them in French and talking to them in French, and my children just, they love it. They want to learn French. My 8-year-old daughter, went to her classroom, and she's teaching her friends how to speak French. Now, I don't know if it's actually legit, but for her, it broadens her world. Because you're right, she doesn't have the ability to go to France. So.
It rather sounds to me as if a few American children are finding out that there are wealthy white people on the other side of the ocean. I don't see that as a mission. It's a kind of a nice fallout for a few kids. It's not something that's helping the community to develop. Do you see what I'm saying?
I say when the French come here in 2015, we do everything we can to publicize their life and let every high school, high school kids know that brings in every walk of society, and just do a better job at publicizing when the French are here.
Well, and if you have events that you're serving food at, I don't see how it's anything except rude to not offer food to the public if they're gonna come. When Teresa and I host an event, it's all free. And I make sure that there's enough groceries there for everybody. If we didn't have enough on the day of the Peace and Diversity Fair, or when I hosted the Occupy film showing down there, anything else, I'd be going home scrambling, getting some more groceries to feed the public. Because that's the way you really host a group. That's the really friendly way, is to be inclusive. And if you don't do it that way, you're gonna have resentment to this group. Because now this group, the way it has functioned so far, has been exposed. And so the only way to rectify that is to somehow make it fair to the public. And correct me if I'm wrong, the last time when they were here, when you had events, whether it was at Januska Farm or at the high school or anywhere, there was a charge to go if you served any food, right? Whether it was at the ballroom or anywhere else.
Correct, to cover the cost of the meals.
Right.
And we kept it to as the bare minimum as we could, trying to serve a nicer meal. It depended on what it was. Sometimes it was just sandwiches where it was maybe $5 to $10. Sometimes it was on the more expensive side, depending on the menu. And I can't give you any of those figures off the top of my head. Numbers don't stick in
Well,
my
if the
head at all.
French can come up with all the dollars to host this group going over there, I think this group should do the same. Work that hard. Because I now know they don't get any funding from their government to host this group going over there. So that's the other part that's not really fair. Why would this group be offended or not want to work as hard as they do? That's friendly, right?
I don't think it's a matter of not working as hard. It's a matter of our city government has made that decision, and that decision is beyond the committee members. If you have an issue with the funding, Robin, all I can tell you is go to the city. They made that
Well, I already
decision.
have.
Okay.
You were with me.
I know. That's
But
all
I'm
I can
saying,
tell you is to
in
do
good,
that.
in good conscience, how could anybody participating in this group not feel weird about the fact that they're working harder to drum up the funds to host this group coming over there? I don't get that.
In good conscience, I trust that our city has made the decision they want to make on how they spend their funds. I trust the city
So
council's
you're okay
decision.
with government subsidy for this program?
I don't see it as government subsidy.
Well, that's
I
what it
see
is.
it
That's
as-
exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Melissa, is there any other items
Yeah.
for which we have to vote?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna leave the
I'm gonna run out of
conversation
time,
here.
Sorry.
Everybody think about it. I do want to keep us to an hour, and we are at 10 more minutes. So thank you for bringing these points to our
You're welcome.
attention.
If I think of some more, I'll.
Committee,
Yeah,
continue to
you're
think
welcome.
on this, and we'll continue that. So thank you for calling attention to the time, Mike. Under new business, I have talking points in your packet. I have given out some talking points to try and help clarify the committee and its role in the community. The first sheet is general information, and this is from an old brochure. I don't know where you found that, Gabriel. I found it on the inside of my cookbook, which was a fundraiser we had a couple of years ago. Just kind of outlining what is our goals and things like that with there. And then the next 2 pages are some points by points. Why did we do bylaws? How do we do public events? Accommodating people with disabilities, the issue of the funding, and so forth. So those are for people associated with the community, and if you didn't get a copy and you need one, let me know. I will be submitting this to the city tomorrow. I apologize for the lateness. I did not finish typing it until today. It's been a crazy week at work with training. So that's just some talking points to help clarify situations. If you have any additional questions, please of course bring them to the committee's attention and we will address them. Any questions on that? All right. Monday, April 15th, I am trying to get our bylaws on the city council's agenda. Dan said he'll do his best if I can get them, that we approve them tonight, to him tonight or tomorrow morning right away. So check the city council agenda on if we actually make it on or not, and you can see that. If we don't make it on the 15th, I believe it's May 6th is the next city council meeting. So, all right, and then hopefully we'll get some good feedback from the city council on where we need to grow and if our bylaws work for them. Can you give us an update in 5 minutes on the,
I talked to Tom out at the airport, and he is willing to work with us and help us to create kind of a fly-in event. He said it will take some time to get pulled together, so he would like it to be kind of probably later in the year,
Okay.
late summer, early fall. if possible. He said there are kind of a lot of events, fly-ins, things like that they do out there. But he said that he might be able to contact some pilots who might be able to give rides out there, and also to look for a like a World War II aircraft to just have on display. To kind of interest the people a little bit more. He said there we could fit 30 to 40 people within the terminal. And then he said something about, he said there's construction.
Like seating, sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounded
Okay.
like. If we were going to have like a
sit-down
breakfast,
type
or
thing.
if we were
Okay.
going to have, you know, something like that. He said there is a cooking facility out there, and then there's also another, he said a hangar facility that you could fit another 50 to 75. So he suggested that we come out there and take a look at
Okay.
the facility and kind of familiarize ourselves with it, and then just talk with him a bit more. I mean, it kind of sounds like he would be doing kind of a lot of the legwork with the pilots and with,
Okay.
you know, trying to find some cool stuff that they'd be interested in. I didn't really know there was such a thing as a fly-in.
Right.
So
Learning.
I was all kind of, but I was just kind of looking online, and there's a website, and they have all kinds of, I mean, they have like all the different places that you can fly into, and they
Okay.
usually have breakfast. So
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it would be something like maybe we'd want to do something with the Lindberghs. You know, I just thought it'd be like if they're air, you know, and maybe some of them or all of them have already been there, but for them to have a like maybe doing buses out to
So
you know
they
fly
do a little
in,
tour
have breakfast,
for the
do
pilots? Okay.
you know I don't know if that would be of something
Yeah.
of interest. I didn't really ask Tom, but you'd think that they would be interested in that, and I think it would be cool for the public to be able to go out there too and see them all kind of coming in and go on airplane rides, or I don't know how they do, if there's a liability issue.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I mean, he sounded like, oh yeah, I can ask some pilots and they'll do that. You know, like it was like, no, so,
Okay.
but I don't know exactly. But that's kind of what I know. So,
Are you willing to kind of head that up and keep digging and put together, kind of do some more research and see what a standard fly-in is? What's kind of that expectation if we say we're having a fly-in? People expect these kind of things?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that does sound like an interesting idea. It'd be very different, something the committee hasn't done before. My hesitation is we have lost our core volunteers with food power, who know how to do cooking for masses, and
Actually, some of us
some
are
are,
okay
you're
with
okay
cooking.
with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we would do something easy, like, I mean, most
I was
of it
gonna
was
say,
like
if it's
pancakes.
Pancakes
you know,
and stuff, I think we
pancake
can
and-
handle that, but I remember some of the other things we used to do, which,
No, we'll do our
Scary.
own twist.
And then that
Okay.
would be, like, if we did want to include the
Exactly.
public, that would be something inexpensive, you know, you could
Oh,
do
you can make egg
inexpensive,
bake
you
and
know.
pancakes on a large scale.
alright.
Well, I hate to cut this short, but I gotta
Alright,
take
well,
off.
thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks a lot.
Have them to adjourn.
Alright,
Do you want to make an emotion to adjourn? Sorry.
that's alright.
I
Any last final thoughts? No? Alright, making a motion to adjourn the meeting. It is, what is it, 5 to 9?
I will second.
Second, all in favor, please say aye.
Bye.
They all approved. Next meeting is May 8th at 8 p.m. And hopefully we'll hear more information about a flying then.
You know, we should really approve things in French, should we?
Yeah.
I was gonna say yes and no you can do, right? Oui and no. So.
All right, so you guys.
See you,
Bye, Mike.